And welcome, folks, to another edition of Steady Droppin Dimes, the last one of the summer. Had a little bit of a hiatus between the last episode and this one because we have camps and whatnot to get to, so there are a lot of things going on, but we had to get this last episode before we come back in late August. Season 2 of Steady Droppin Dimes. The sponsors have already jumped back on board, so the fellas, the crew, we will be back for season 2 and looking forward to it as we see the Sharon Moore era get underway. But joining me on this show, like they do every single week, two of my esteemed colleagues and friends. I watched them go from boys to men, starting with the quarterback who I first saw at U of D. He went on and did his thing over in Inktown. Over in Inktown. He goes from U of D Jesuit to Inktown. Was it culture shock for you, Devin Gardner?
Oh, no, I was home. I was back where I belong. Baby.
Yeah, so all-American quarterback out of high school and went on and did his thing at the University of Michigan. Now he is doing his thing as a Fox broadcaster. How about that? Hey, are you up for any more Emmys this year, Devin?
Yeah, 2 more. I'm probably going to collect both of them. And so then it'll be 5th. I got a special document that I want to show, and it reads 5th. Anything you ask me something right now, Sam. Come on, ask me something. Come on.
Okay,
5th.
Hey, Devin.
5th.
Hey, when you sitting down at the Michigan summer camp, do they recognize you as a quarterback, or do they say, "Hey, didn't you used to coach at the Elite 11? Isn't that how they recognize you now?" They don't even recognize you as a player no more, Devin. That's how old you get, brother. Oh, my God.
I'm not playing with you, Sam.
That's the guy from D.
Hey, man. Daniel, the kid walked up to him, and he said, you know how somebody stop and they recognize Devin? I'm sure gets this all the time. Recognize, like, hey, I know you. He's like, you're that coach from the Elite 11. Come on, man. You know this dude played quarterback at the University of Michigan? He's the coach at the Elite 11.
Hey, you officially old now, my brother.
See?
How the mighty have fallen. First of all, let me just hold on. Time out. Let me just say this. I just had this conversation with one of the parents from Youngo. We got on the hill, they're out of school, so we going early. And we just talking about how she had these glasses on, and her daughter said, those glasses are way too cool for you to be wearing, Mom. And I'm just like, I feel that cool ship is sailed for her. Now, my cool ship is at the dock, but it hasn't quite set sail just yet. You know what I mean? It's at the dock. And let me just tell you, that's what I told her. I said, listen, when my ship does sail, when they start to unravel the deal and, try to get it out there, I'm putting that thing back. I got a video of Barack Obama, who they're learning about in school, as the first black president, give me a shout out. So I'm gonna be at this dock for a little bit longer, Chief. I can't wait. Soon as if I can, you can get a feel for it. Like, man, I'm starting to fall down. I ain't as cool as I used. Hey, wow, here, see this? Now that's cool. And I'm gonna buy me a couple more years. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, DJ, I don't know what that feeling is, man. We forever cool around here, man.
Hey,
no, you old, Daniel. You old, Daniel. You old as dirt, Daniel.
Hey, I got a question.
Come walk these Dallas streets with me.
Hey, Daniel, I'm going to tell you this right now, Daniel. Your daughter's going to Michigan. Good night. It's over. Good night. That ship has sailed. You got a child going to the Universidad de Michigan. It's over. It's over.
Yeah.
Hey, what this gonna say? This gonna say over.
Yeah, that kind of does make you old. That Daniel that he's talking about is none other than former McDonald's All-American point guard at the University of Michigan. One, Mr. Daniel Horton. Daniel, how are you, my friend?
Doing good. Sorry about the crazy background. I normally have my painting at home. Now I'm at my sister's house.
Aloha.
We're in transition, moving back to Texas so my son can jump in the network and hopefully get a scholarship to Michigan one day.
Okay.
Hey, Sam, what happened to you having the young lady that's going to take me to Hawaii? What is going on?
Speaking of that.
Hey,
come on, man. Speaking of aloha. Speaking of aloha.
The lady was in the chat and she said, I'll take Devin on vacation. Now, you have no idea who this lady is.
Who cares?
You wait. So I seem to remember sending you. Well, let's not get into it. You seem to care, brother. You seem to care. At any rate,
man, start the show, man. Start the show, man. It's crazy.
All right, folks. Steady dropping dimes. You see, we have fun. We love each other. We talk sports, but the banter is real. No contrived takes. Man, you know, Stephen A, he fellas, we gonna talk about this, Caitlin. When I tell you Stephen A's argument for Caitlin Clark, even if you a supporter of Caitlin Clark being on the Olympic team, you would change your opinion based on what Stephen A said. We will get to that a little bit later. But this show is brought to you by our friends at Destination Ann Arbor, your tour guides for all things Ann Arbor when it comes to places to go, places to stay, places to eat, events coming to town, like the Ann Arbor Summerfest that we're going to tell you about here coming up in the My Ann Arbor segment a little bit later on in the show. Destination Ann Arbor is your resource for all of those things. You want to know about the park system in Ann Arbor, which is, or in Washtenaw County, excuse me, which is amazing. You want to know about the great places to eat in Washtenaw County. They are your guide. You want to know about the outstanding steakhouses around here? They're the place to go. Destination Ann Arbor. You can find them at annarbor.org. We'll tell you more about the Ann Arbor Summerfest a little bit later. But we got to start off, fellas, talking about the Buckeyes. I haven't looked in the chat to see if there are any Buckeyes in the chat yet. But let me profess my love for all the attention that the Buckeyes give me. You know the Buckeyes are good for business, fellas. Buckeyes good for business because they always react. They always respond. And the latest thing they responded to was Sharon Moore going down and taking another employee from the Ohio State Buckeyes. And they said, "Oh, we didn't want." See, when they love you, they give you a nickname. They call me Sam Webb. They started calling Tony Alford. Did you see this one, Devin? They call him Tony Al Fraud. They didn't start calling the man Tony Al Fraud.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this: they are kind of good at making nicknames, though. Like if the nicknames was true, they are pretty funny. Like Scam Webb, I never even thought of that because I don't think of you as a scam. But hey, it do go. Even though it's not true, it does go. And then I ain't know about the Al Fraud, but that's pretty clever. I mean, they gotta have something at this point, guys. They gotta have something. That's pretty good. Give them the credit. Give them the credit.
Hey, they gotta win the war of words. They not winning the war of pads right now. That's
they ain't winning no war of words with me. Hey man,
that was sad.
When I had the time, see, I could turn it off and on. Like they respond way more than I do because I don't really look at Twitter like that. But when I had the time, I spend it on them. And so this latest thing, Aaron Dunston. So you got to understand the director of on-campus recruiting has a vital role. You guys have been on visits. I don't know if they had directors of on-campus recruitment. When you guys came on visit, how did the visits go? Like who ran the visit when you guys came on the visit? You remember your official visit, Devin?
Sam, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I was up here so much. At this point, I don't even know if I took an official visit. Because think about it. I was up here all the time, and then I played an All-American game, and supposedly my visit was the week after, but I started school, so I was already in college. So what is a visit? And I'm in college. I got class tomorrow. What are we doing? So I can't even tell you.
You remember your official visit, Daniel?
No.
Yeah, I was already committed, so it wasn't when I came to campus, it was like come and visit family. They didn't have a recruiting coordinator. Hey, Ramsey picked us up from the airport, dropped us off at the hotel, and we went from there.
Well, these days, they have people that coordinate every detail of your visit. Who picks you up at the airport? You get dropped. You got a schedule. You get picked up at this time. You're going to eat at this time. You meet with this coach at this time. This much time from transit from this place to that place. And so your on-campus recruiting person, I mean, if there's a lull in there, if there's a dead spot, a bad conversation, a bad internet, man, no, you got to script that. And you got to be able to react to how the visit is going. You got to have some person. The good ones have some personality where they can connect with the families and not just the kids, but the families, right? So Michigan has that now in young Miss Kaylee Johnson. Kaylee is going to be outstanding in that role. Have already had different families offer some glowing remarks. The Jones family, for instance. I know in talking to Jordan Davison's trainer, Steve Briscoe, he shouted Kaylee out. Like, they got that covered, right? But, fellas, Ohio State had it covered too. Ohio State had it covered. I mean, I was talking to because I didn't ask, could I quote them? I won't use the name, but I talked to an industry source who said, man, Aaron Dunston, the young lady Ohio State has is real. Aaron Dunston is legit. Like, visits, yes, Ohio State, they have all these first-round picks, and, Ohio State recruits itself to a certain extent, but when it comes to ability to relate to kids, families, and how a visit go, oh yeah, she's a rock star, is what I was told. Right, so she's been in recruiting at Ohio State for 3 years, and this past February she was promoted to the assistant AD of recruiting and events. That's basically still sounds like to me the same job, just they gave you a different title and more pay. Does it sound like that to y'all? That's what it sounds like to me, right?
Make up new fancy words to make sure,
So, man, I was sitting down yesterday with my pals from Autograph. Shout out to Tom Brady's crew at Autograph. We're talking about some exciting things with the film studies, video series, whatnot. So be on the lookout for that. So shout out to Autograph, shout out to Tom Brady. But I got a call. And it was like, Sam, guess what? Michigan just took another one. I said, another one what? Just took another Buckeye.
Hey, DJ Cat, another one.
Just took another one. It's like, I'm telling you, Aaron Dunston. And he's like, you might not know her name. I started thinking, Dunston. Dunston sounds familiar. Because, Jillian Dunston played on the women's basketball team. She's an assistant coach at Michigan now. Yeah. I'm wondering, is she related to Jilly? I don't know for sure yet. I'm thinking this, you got to. But what really got me on 10 about it, it's like, oh, man, Ryan Day was pissed. It's like, oh, he was hot. He was hot about this. Now, was I there? Was I there to know that Ryan Day was actually legitimately ticked off? No, I cannot say firsthand knowledge that he was, but I suspect it's true.
You suspect.
I suspect he was hot. Now, can you replace? No one's irreplaceable except Reggie Bush. But when it comes to staff members, you can replace staff members, and I'm sure they're gonna find another director of on-campus recruiting. But fellas, you can't. However, he lost her to Michigan. Oh my God! Why are you going to Michigan? Can you imagine what Ryan Day? What he had to say, how he looked, the doo-doo look on his face when she said, I'm going to Michigan. And he just promoted her 3 months ago.
So that's the tough part. It's something going on, man. Because you got a running back coach who recruits his butt off, obviously, gets the best dudes. You just stacked the running back room with what we perceive as, I would say, a top 3 room in the country. Man, let's just go here. It's a top room in the country. It's the best room in the country. And he decides to leave that room, who he helped build, and then you promote a young lady who is clearly a star, right? Everybody speaks, right? Everybody talks, and if somebody's talking, Sam's going to know, all right? So Sam, I don't know why they keep calling Sam about everything. They don't never call me. But anyway, I digress. You get a young lady who is clearly a star in the industry, and we know how important recruiting is, especially in the world and in the space we are in now. And she leaves to go to the same place, Michigan. I have to know, what is going on?
So I give you my theory. on the matter because
I know right. You know, Sam, because everybody talked to you. You probably got a mole at Ohio State.
So I'll give you a theory. Let's call it an educated theory. Let's call it an informed theory. But I think your analogy, your comparative analysis is spot on. Tony Alford recruited the number 1 running back in the country in Trevion Henderson. They went and got the #1 running back in the portal in Quinshawn Judkins. That's your running back room. And you say, nah,
I'm good.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Let me get on the next thing, smoking to Michigan, right? Ohio State is getting top 5, top 3 recruiting classes year after year. I'm sure that
I'm talking about they win in the recruiting Super Bowl every year.
Every year. Every year. Like they're rolling in recruiting. And she's like, nah, I don't want to do that. Let me go up here to Michigan. You're right. That does say something. But in this particular case, what I think is, look at her track. Look at her track at Ohio State, going from the director of recruiting to, like I said, the assistant AD of recruiting and events. As I said, it sounds like the same job with a different title and more money. Now, she comes to Michigan, though, as the director of operations, right? So the difference is you are planning and logistics for the program. Why would you move from recruiting to ops? Now, I haven't talked to her. I'm going to give you some educated speculation on the matter. What I suspect is she has a goal of moving up the ranks of athletic administration. This is my theory. That maybe she one day aspires to be an AD, right? Maybe she wants to go that route. Maybe she sees being in recruiting long term as not the path to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Sharon Moore is like, hey, I believe in your ability to move up in these ranks. I see the potential. I see the promise. I see the possibility for you here. I just need you to see it. If you can see it, you can come here and realize it. Now,
you can believe and you can achieve.
Now, do I know that that's how it went down? I suspect it went down that way, DG. I suspect it went down that way. And I also suspect that she went and she said, now this is just more speculation about what I did. There was an opportunity. Could I have moved up here? I mean, I just stayed in recruiting with the same job. I just stayed in recruiting, same job, different title. Coach give me an opportunity. Coach give me an opportunity to move up in the ranks. I'm going to take it. Oh, and by the way, they've been beating that ass the last few years.
I knew he was going there. I knew he was going to get there. I said, all right, just go ahead. Blah, 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 blah. Move up in the ranks. AD in the future. La, 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 la. Leaf the chief. And they been what? You crazy. You are crazy.
Hey,
Sam, you crazy.
She didn't say that. I'm sure she didn't say that. Okay, that's me. That's what I would have said.
What do you suspect she said, though, again? I can't hear you. What you say? You suspect
that's what I would have said.
What you would have said?
I know she didn't.
What would have you
been beating that ass the last few years? It's been happening. It's been happening.
That's a fact. That's not an opinion.
So, in the grand scheme of things, to be real, yes, Ohio State, they're going to still recruit like a machine. They're going to still have a top 3 class. That's not going to change based on her departure. So I'm not turning this into this, this epic collapse of Ohio State recruiting. I'm not painting that picture. But what it does signal to me is, like you said, man, when people are leaving a ship like that, that seems like it's sailing into, this pristine waters. We're on a yacht right now. Why would you leave? You leaving a yacht? Why are you leaving a yacht? Must be a hole in that yacht somewhere, DG. And Daniel, that's all I'm saying.
Man, that thing sinking like the Titanic, huh?
It's sinking that Sharon Moore driving by in his yacht, just splashing water on him.
Or maybe you see that iceberg dead ahead. And you're like, man, we about to.
I think it's the iceberg. Because I honestly don't think it's a hole in the ship, but that iceberg is on the horizon. And the iceberg is a 4th straight loss to Michigan. Like that, like as much as and I've already, I've voiced kind of, I think Ryan Day a good coach. Is he a great head coach? It hasn't. He's won all the games except for Michigan, but the one that matters is Michigan. So, he a fringe, pretty good head coach, but I think he's a really good football coach, right? But I don't think there's any way he survives 4 straight losses to Michigan. there's no way. There's 0% chance of him surviving that, right? And especially with, firstly, I know for a fact, people talk to me too sometimes, Sam. I know that they are I mean, it's pretty common knowledge though. They are spending a lot of money with the alumni and what have you in the different collectives. A lot of money to make this roster the best roster in the country. And honestly, I think it's maybe not head and shoulders above all the rest of the rosters, but this roster is very, 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 very good. If they had at least what everybody viewed right now as a really good quarterback, not elite, but not below, and kind of in the middle. If everybody thought they had that, it would be head and shoulders, not even close. But everybody's kind of questioning what the quarterback position will be. The spring game didn't help that kind of thought at all. I'm sure the fans weren't super excited about what they saw from the spring game, even though they have a stacked quarterback room. You can't survive it. There's no way. There is no way. And then you have the question of where do they go next? Now, if I'm a coach, I'm going to coach Ohio State, boy, because I can do something with that. I'm telling you. At least when you believe in yourself, you think you can do something with that, right? With that type of roster and what have you. So it's tough, man. And I wonder what he would do next. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot going. It's iceberg in front, though.
Yeah.
And hopefully for them, for their sake, for the fans, for all that, for Ohio State, they got like a good driver so he can kind of navigate around it. Because
here's what they don't want to say. Go ahead, Daniel. Go ahead.
Hey, can you imagine if they do lose that fourth game? It's like Ryan, like at the end of like thriller movies, and the villain is hanging on to the edge with both hands, and Sam is gonna be standing at the top ready to step on his fingers,
just smashing his fingers because he's wrong. Sam is wrong. He's gonna be so Flint. If they lose this fourth time, Sam gonna be more Flint than you ever seen him before. My goodness.
So Ben, if you could find the video from the on-field video from this year's post-game, Michigan Ohio State post-game. So I was talking to my man Dre. He said, man, I was watching the Ohio State video post-game, and they stopped their video and said, that yelling you hear is Sam Webb. I mean, I had no idea they were talking about me on another video. I got to try to find this video now. But what was evident to me then and is evident to me now is that the excuses are over. No, you just nailed it. They spared no expense. They spared no expense on a roster. They spared no expense when it came to coaches. You got everything you could possibly ask.
They got like $1 million position coaches.
Come on, man.
That's
come
wild.
on. Everything you could possibly ask for as a coach, Ryan Day had. So when Paul Feinbaum asked me what you think of Ohio State, right? I do think he's a walking excuse because there's a reason. Every time they got their behind whooped by Michigan, it's always something. It's never, man, they just beat us. Sometimes you just get, y'all heard this saying. You got to learn how to take an ass whooping. When you get beat, hey, man, just tip your cap to the other side. It doesn't make it okay, but there's a way to take an L.
Yeah.
You don't know how to take an L. Because they're just supposed to win. My stuff is so good that if we lose, it can't be me. It can't be my stuff. They had to cheat some kind of way, or Mother Nature's against me or something. But it ain't, that they're just better. And so
that 15-year run got them delusional.
Yeah, man. And so the vibe is very, very clear. Their fan base is parroting it for now. But here's the irony. In the immediate aftermath of those games, you know who they agree with? Not Ryan Day. They agree with me. They're like, hey, Ryan Day ain't getting it done. And then after a few days, then they get back on the bandwagon. But this is it. This is it, fellas. Devin, you are spot on. If they lose this game at home, with all that money sunk in that roster, with Sharon Moore as the head coach, with all the defensive coaches left, they all gone. All the defensive guys left.
No quarter at this point. As far as Ohio State's concerned, Michigan doesn't have a quarterback at this very moment.
You lose this game, hey man, I hope you saved your money. I hope you invested well. I mean, he's not going to be hurting, but you're not going to be coaching Ohio State. And Ohio State fans in this chat, you agree with me. You agree with me. Y'all saying the same thing. You won't say it here public. As a matter of fact, I was talking to my man Jared Irons. Jared, who is friends with some Buckeyes, he said, it's on the field, it's a war. Off the field, we can be cordial. I won't say who told him this, but it is a noteworthy, because I didn't ask him, but it's a noteworthy Buckeye. A noteworthy Buckeye. And he told J.I., he said, hey, man, first he said, we got y'all this year. That's the first thing he said.
That's what they always say.
But then he said, if we don't, oh, man, he got to go. he got to go. And this is a Buckeye that has some, like, if he says it, oh, yeah, he got cachet. He has cachet. So I'm telling you, these Buckeyes know I'm right. You know I'm right. And
so what you're saying, Sam, is they really on your side, but because you a scam, they can't really get with it because that would make them a scam.
They can't even get with it. So listen, let me tell y'all something, Buckeyes. I have been scamming y'all a little bit, telling y'all that y'all got to subscribe to my site to read my stuff, but you don't really. You don't really. If you just subscribe, I'm going to hook up Bucknuts. So subscribe to Bucknuts, and you can access my stuff. And by the way, you'll be right there in time for the coaching search for Ohio State. Oh, you want all the tips and all the news for the Ohio State coaching search? Just sign up for Bucknuts. They'll have it for you.
So, Sam,
if that loss happens.
Sam, what you're saying is you are going to tie an Ohio State version of your site just so the Ohio State fans can look at your stuff without having to pay you.
Yeah.
And they keep calling you a scam. I don't care what nobody said about you, Sam. You a good man.
I'm a good man. See, I'm telling them, you don't even have to.
I heard a lot of stuff they be saying about you, Sam. And none of it's true. You a good man.
Yeah, so I do have to give, honestly, a shout out to Sharon, because when you look at how he's put his staff together, he came in it very eyes wide open about how he wanted to organize this. So first, you got to take care of your on-field staff. In the grand scheme of things, that is, you got to find the right guys, but you know what you're looking for. You want someone to, run the same scheme. It'd be good to have some secondary guy that can run the whole secondary that has some familiarity with it. He accomplished that, right? You got some university and program knowledge and Brian Jean-Marie. That, in some respects, there was more of a playbook to do that. Less of a playbook for his off-field staff, which he completely revamped. The support staff is totally different. He hired a general manager. He moved Sam Popper to the director of recruiting. He moved Albert into personnel. He hired Kaylee as the director of on-campus recruiting. He hired assistant directors of recruiting under Sam for offense and defense. Then he has student assistants that were going to be for every coach. And then when he realized that, man, students don't have enough time to assist the coaches this way, then he went and hired full-time recruiting analysts for each coach. And then, oh, by the way, the operations of my program need to be bumped up. So Scott Goldschmidt, we're going to make him the assistant AD of ops. And then we're going to go get this rock star, Aaron Dunston, to come and be the director of ops to run it all through. Man, listen, as far as tools are concerned and where to put them, how to apply them, to not have been a head coach before, this dude is doing a hell of a job. Now, that we have to see how it equates to winning games, but this part of the process he's handled like a veteran, and I'm impressed by that.
Yeah, super impressive. And it started, and there's been some commotion. It hasn't been smooth sailing this whole time, right? It's been some commotion. It's been some having to pivot, right? Like all of us have to do in our life, right? It's been some pivoting and some disappointment. But he's kind of like just roll with the punches, right? Floyd Mayweather's shoulder roll and came back with a counter. Like, he's done an outstanding job. And like you said, the most important part of it is we have to wait and see how it translates to winning.
Yeah.
But the Buckeyes throw us a party every single time in the offseason because they do so great in recruiting. So I feel like we should have at least a little bit of an ability to have a party and celebrate what he's been able to do before, obviously, we see the finished product on the field.
So, Devin, I am curious your perspective, and Daniel, you're in Texas now. I mean, they're calling that Michigan-Texas game the early game, as far as the first half of the season, the game of the first half of the season. It's going to determine how viable Texas is as a championship contender. A lot of people think is going to determine how real Michigan is as a repeat threat, because there's a lot of doubters in Michigan. I was looking at what they call it, the FPI for Michigan. They had them outside the top 10. They had Michigan at number 12 in the country.
Based on I know this don't really matter, but like the overalls on a video game, agree. Like the overalls on a video game got like Baylor a better team than Michigan, right? Like stuff like that is like, wait, I mean, I know it's just a video game, but they're getting their information from somewhere. How is that possible? How is that possible? So, like you said, I mean, there's a lot of doubters, and us, we don't know for sure. We think they're gonna be a really good team, but we don't know for sure. And that first game or that Texas game, I don't think there's been a game that big, except for, you know, you got some Notre Dame versus Michigans in the past when both teams were very strong. I don't think I can't remember, you know, I'm not as old as y'all two, because, you know, y'all ships has sailed. We talked about that before the show. Oh, my bad. I didn't know y'all could hear me still. Sorry. I thought I muted my thing. All right, never mind. So, but I can't remember personally a game of this magnitude coming off such a great season, not necessarily a national championship, but coming off a great season. Them coming off a great season, almost getting to a national championship, and then kind of meeting two of the biggest brands. I would maybe say the two biggest brands in all of college football in the big house. I'm a little mad. I'm a little scared. You want to know why, Sam? You want to know why I'm scared, Sam? Because I played in front of 115,000, the biggest that America's ever seen in a football stadium. It might be able to beat that, right?
Yeah, it's going to be bananas.
115,000 might be in jeopardy for, you know.
And listen, real talk, you have to honestly question if Michigan is going to be able to attack Texas where they're most vulnerable. I was talking to Advance about this. We watch every Texas game, former Texas defensive coordinator, Texas alum. And then I watched that Texas-Alabama game last year. I remember how they played Jalen Milroe. Milroe threw 2 picks in the game, and it was really the deciding pick. The second pick decided the game. Like, it was a red zone pick. Oh my! That was it. And man, they dared that dude to throw down the football field. They dared him, and I think that's how they're going to play. That's how a lot of teams are going to try to play Michigan. But especially if it's Alex Orji, who I think is the favorite right now, they're gonna test his ability to throw accurately deep and intermediate. You know, can he do that?
Sam, time out, Sam. Sorry. Cherry Blossom back, man.
Oh,
Cherry
really?
Blossom is in the chat. Clowns. And he put 4 clowns. He can't count. It's only 3 of us. He goofy. Put it up on the screen. He put 4 clowns. This is the most Ohio State comment I've ever seen. It is only 3 of us, Blossom. Cherry Blossom. It's only 3 clowns up here, man. What are you doing?
Hey, man, I seen a Buckeye spell Ohio wrong once. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Hey, Sam, but hey, going back to the Texas thing, man, I think with their experience on offense, they got experienced quarterback, multiple 5-star speedy receivers. Their offensive line is littered with high 4-star and 5-star guys they've been paying, because, you know, they started their first NIL thing was paying offensive linemen to come, right? Mm-hmm. So their offensive line is star-studded. Their defense, Anthony Hill is probably the most freakish freshman football player I've seen come out of Texas in a long time. So they're gonna be loaded. You know what I mean? They're gonna be loaded. It's gonna be a tough matchup.
See, where are they vulnerable though? In a way that Jalen Milroe in the second game of his starting career wasn't able to really exploit. I think he hit Buford on one deep corner route in the game, if I recall correctly. But man, he detailed it in our national championship preview because he watched the Texas-Washington game. And he said, listen, man, the way these dudes play defense is really simple. They play quarters with outside leverage. They're going to play a lot of man. If you run double posts or fade balls, he said, man, you could kill these dudes. And the teams who could do one or both ate them up. Washington ate them up. Oklahoma ate them up. Now, can Michigan do that? He said, because if you just try to run right at them, yeah, they lost to Devondre Sweat. You know, they had some turnover up front, but they went and got some more big guys. They're going to stack that box and say, can you run the football? If you can't, what can you do? Can you exploit us? And that was one of the things. I mean, you had a corner depart. I know the corner was like, hey man, I want to go someplace where they don't leave you out to dry every snap as a corner. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They leave you out to dry like every snap as a corner.
Sam, I found some, and I wonder what Vance would think of this. You know, I don't really watching defense, you know, like that because, you know, we got Monday morning quarterback. I try to stay on the offensive side of the ball. And I try to just say in the quarterback room, honestly, because I just, you know, it's just more fun. But I had the kids and we were watching film, like just, you know, breaking down coverage, right? Just, hey, what do you see? What do you, whatever. And I want you to ask Vance about this, and hopefully he watching so he can just hop in and tell us right now. Michigan, right? Their defense is obviously outstanding, best in the country. And I don't know if this is in every game. I got to watch a little more, but specifically against Michigan State. And I can see this being an outstanding plan for any team they play, and I think it's an outstanding plan for Texas. So what they did initially against Michigan State, because the young quarterback played all right to start the game, complete some balls, found the right guy. They were relatively vanilla, right? Relatively vanilla. And then on a big third down, they throw in a combo coverage that has man principles along with zone principles, right? Confuses the quarterback, throws it to number 12, our corner. He doesn't pick it off, but now you're in the head of a young guy who looked like he had it figured out, right? And when you are a quarterback, when you can see a few completions and they're throwing kind of coverage at you and you're figuring out where to go with the ball, you get a certain kind of confidence about yourself, like, oh, I got it figured out. And a lot of quarterbacks kind of relax and just think like, oh, this is going to be an easy day. Then they throw that one curveball where you almost throw a pick, and you know turnovers are going to kill you against defense and a team like this. Then, and I'm talking to the young kids, and I'm like, he won't play as good. Because I've never watched that part of the game. I've only watched the offensive side. I said he won't play as good here moving forward. His eyes won't be in the right place, all these different things. And then they go back to a little bit more vanilla. And then, boom, another thing. Right? We show them blitz, drop out, now you got to hold the ball, all these different things. And so I really want to know from Vance's extensive study of the defense, when you get a chance, is that the plan, right? Is that the plan? Show, hey, this is just cover 4. This is just regular old cover 6. You can throw it to the flat right here and whatever. Trick them one time, make them feel vulnerable, and then from then on, you're playing with house money because they don't know where to go with the ball.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I had this conversation with Vance, and part of him is like, I don't know what Michigan's strategy is going to be. It's the same scheme. It's like you drive in the same car, and the driver's trained in the same place, but they have different styles. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so will Wink, will he be as multiple defensively as Jesse was? And he said, man, you got to kind of wait to see. And I suspect he will. I know there's a lot of nervousness and trepidation about it because he has this reputation as this big time blitzer who plays a lot of man. I think a lot of that has been shaped by the types of defenses that he had. This is a defense where you're gonna be able to get to him with 4. Mm-hmm. You're gonna be able to get to him with 4. So
and at the most 5.
Yeah, man. I mean, like he has some horses. The only question I have about Michigan's defense this year is depth. Like that's the thing that isn't talked about enough about last year's defense, how deep they were. They missed Mason Graham for what? 3 games, 4 games? You didn't even know. Can you remember they missed him?
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that was.
You know what I'm saying?
I learned that I was today years old when I found out Mason Graham missed any games, let alone 4.
Check it out. Will Johnson was out the whole second half of the Ohio State.
I knew that, of course.
And they still won the game. Right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like this squad, if they had to go too deep, they could do it across the board. This squad, we got to wait to see how much of that they have. But it's a first string. I think they're the best first string in the country.
But Sam, so
go ahead.
This is where I find a little comfort in that is, you remember Alabama back in the days? I remember we played Alabama at Jerry World. And I just remember, hey, man, just relax a little bit, okay? Don't so fast. Just pump the brakes, Chief. Hey, all I know is I did my part, man. I was getting down out there. But anyway, the one thing I remember about them is those second and third players. they were so talented. Nobody knew them though, right? So you knew who the starters was, but then they rolled out those guys who hadn't been seen yet, and nobody knew anything about them. I mean, I guess you kind of knew them from recruiting, but they haven't produced on the field just yet. And it was just like, they're not missing a beat at all, right? They're backups to their backups that we don't know are super talented. And we kind of looked at Bama as that great developmental program. Obviously, they get great talent, but they do a good job developing them as well. And for Michigan, maybe they don't get the top of the line talent. However, I think that they've earned the respect and the kind of belief that the depth will be there. Mm-hmm. I think the depth will be there because of the development that we've seen over the years. The people that become stars at Michigan weren't stars, right? They weren't 5 stars. They weren't great players to begin with, right? And so while they're being developed and the guys behind them are like everybody, it's kind of like that perfect watch that every cog is moving and doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So I feel like I think we can find some comfort in saying, no, it's going to be a little bit of the same of like that depth is going to be there, even though those guys haven't proven it yet.
Yeah, I think you're right. Case in point, I was talking to some of the fellas about these transfers because you're trying to get a feel for the transfers, right? And they're only working out and training.
They don't know nothing about it. Like he said, I talked to one kid. He said, I see new kids every day, and I just don't even, you know what I mean?
Right?
Because they're not, the different lift groups and all those different things.
Yeah. But just in workouts, I mean, one of the dudes is like, hey, Amir Hall is like, don't put it this way. Don't just think that other corner spot is automatically decided. Like just looking at him on the huff, he's a better athlete than Josh Wallace. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to play as well or better. That doesn't mean that. We said, no, this dude's a better athlete than Josh Wallace.
I always bet on a dude with a why. I'm telling you. And the bigger the why is the bigger, more money I'm putting on it. Right? When somebody got something they really, truly plan for, obviously you have your teammates and all of that. But like real life has kind of happened, right? And you've dealt with that, I'm betting on those kind of dudes, especially if you got talent too, right? And I'm not going to just bet on no scrub whose life has happened to. I love that life has happened to you and you can fight, but you just ain't got no talent. But the guy with talent who has also dealt with, life, real life, and has a huge why, I'm sorry, man. I can't bet against guys like that.
Yeah, and so, look, I don't know that he'll be a guy because Jair Hill is a tremendous physical talent. He's just inexperienced. Whereas this dude's played is at the FCS level, but of course, he's played a lot of football, and he's long at 6'1", and like he's faster than Josh Wall. So that's going to be an interesting competition. I think the game for the defense is going to play out a lot like last year's Bama-Texas game played out for Bama. I mean, they had Terry and Arnold and Kool-Aid McKinstry and Dallas Turner up front. Like they held Bama in that game, and it was turnovers by the quarterback that turned the game. So
and a Sharon Moore led offense is not letting the quarterback just turn the ball over.
And so that'll be the question to me. Can a quarterback, whoever he is, make enough plays to exploit the holes in that Texas, because they're gonna be there. It's too soon to really tell, but the dynamics are very much, they're on the road at Texas, on the road at Bama, right? It was a green quarterback for Bama who was just feeling his way, wasn't quite ready for prime time, made some big mistakes in key moments. They wound up losing the game. Obviously, you got to hope that won't be the case for Michigan. Now, what they didn't have is Donovan Edwards. They didn't have a Donovan Edwards, so that could be an X factor in all of this. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, Sam. Well, I know we Michigan fans and Michigan alumni and all that through and through, but everybody in that stadium better have their chin straps buckled up when that game starts. Like this is like, for people who don't know, down here in Texas, they still talk about Vince Young and how they beat Michigan back in 2005. Like that's still a thing.
As they should. That was amazing.
They know they're coming to the biggest stadium. Like they know that, and they're very talented. They have an extremely talented quarterback. No matter what people think, he's going to get drafted high. They have extremely talented receivers. I've watched a lot of their guys play since high school down here in the Dallas area, and those guys are talented, man. Like the receiver Cook, A couple other kids they have, man, these are 5-star kids that have been waiting for the opportunity to play. Banks and Majors on the offensive line, these guys are going to be high draft picks. So it's not going to be, I hope as Michigan alumni, we expect a dogfight. I don't think Texas is going to be Texas from last year or anything. This is going to be a dogfight. Like
Texas from last year is pretty good. They was
right, they went Alabama and won, right?
Yeah, and they was one play away from the Natty.
Exactly. So it's one of those things where like it's going to set the tone. If we can get a dub that game, I believe that it'll go how we think it will. Beat Ohio State will do, but that game can, and it's going to be a very physical game. You never know who comes out of that game healthy and what it looks like the rest of the season. So it's going to be it's an early season matchup. I can't wait.
Yeah, man. Well, it's strength on strength too. Because someone in the chat asked how their offensive line is obviously loaded, but they haven't seen a defensive line like Michigan's, like the one that they're about to see. This defensive line is bananas. It is, in my opinion, going to go down as the best defensive line in the history of this program. When all is said and done.
About the offensive line, so it's going to be straight.
Now, understand, we've seen a defensive line that had two elite edges with Dave Ajabo and Aiden Hutchinson.
Two really first-round edges, honestly, but Dave Ajabo got hurt.
Yeah, so the strength will be different. You're going to have two first-round interior linemen.
Yep.
In this one that will be dominant with some edge guys like Derek Moore, I think takes a step. And remember, Josiah Stewart was the one that bench pressed my man, the first round tackle for Bama. He bench pressed me to the backfield. Like they're legit. And so the question to me in that matchup will be, how fresh can you keep that first? I keep going back to depth. They were able to roll guys in. So you get in the fourth quarter of the national championship game. And man, they still can't block me because these dudes are fresh. Do you have the depth to keep those guys fresh? That we're gonna have to see. Rayshawn Benny, I know is an outstanding player, but he's coming off an injury.
Hey, no, Sam, I'm gonna tell you right now. Mark it down. Rayshawn Benny got that fire boiling inside of him. He was taking the next step last year and being hurt and not being able to participate in that championship game. I'm telling you right now, he is a Carter kid. I've spoken. He is going to come out and surprise a lot of people. 26 in blue. Yeah. I'm excited. Hey man, that's what I'm saying. Like a guy like that, nobody even knows like really who he is and what he's capable of. That's a grown man.
So understand. Oh, man. This not me talking about Ray's ability, because I think Ray's gonna be a tremendous player. I don't know where he is in his recovery from.
No, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Okay. That's all I'm saying. I don't know.
He'll be fine.
And then TJ Guy. Look, TJ Guy was an animal in the spring game. It's like, hey man, he was going to get some young dudes. I asked around, they say, oh man, he was doing that all spring. Mm-hmm. So they think TJ Guy is going to be ready to take a step. And then the super X factor is the kid, the linebacker from Maryland, Chayshawn Barham, who they are convinced from coaches.
I don't even know if we can call him a kid no more. That's a grown man.
They said, oh man, this dude is a first round athlete. Now, is he going to be a first round player in this defense? We're going to see. But if he plays, if his level of play is up on par with his level of athleticism, he's a first-round pick. He is the absolute truth.
Sam, since he was a freshman in college, I've had his games because we essentially came in together almost, right? I started with Fox. He started college. And when I tell you, first, obviously, the explosibility and all things you're talking about, outstanding, right, from the start. But it was always like, okay, he got a good feel. He can have a better feel, right? And then you go, okay, here's the next year. Oh, that's a better feel, right? As he grows, and then the conversation with the coaching staffs about him like shifted from year to year. You know what I mean? It's just like at first, like, man, great athlete, blah blah blah, and all this, and then it's like, man, he knows why, he knows how, he understands where others need to be, he understands how the defense worked, and I talked about like a watch, the mechanism in which you need to be, I need to be here so he can be here, so he can do this, and so on and so forth. And so his football mind has developed because he's played a lot of football. And now you got a football mind like that and then an ability like that. And you mesh it together, man. That is terrifying. And I'm just telling you, you do not want to see this man running at you. You don't. You just don't want to see it. Not to mention, this is what a lot of people with Michigan fans won't really know just because he's a linebacker. He's going to be one of the best pass rushers on the team.
Hey, so is it like Danico Allen? Is it like him running at you?
Come on, man. What's up, man? Why you doing that?
I was just, hey man, I like to put you in the first person shooter. Mine's.
I'm not about to play with you, Sam.
Hey man,
you know that's a sore subject.
You've been in the arena, so I'm trying to tap into your.
I don't want to go back to that arena.
Hey, oh, by the way,
I still got nightmares about the
somebody asked me about a Maricoomba. Amen. So I don't think it's this year. I think he still needs to add more weight. But man, that dude, you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of a Jabo. He reminds me of a Jabo. I think his trajectory is going to be similar to a Jabo.
You remember Frank Clark though? When he was young, he just was a little too skinny, and then as the season went on, he got a little stronger, produced a little more play. Remember in the Sugar Bowl, he had a nice interception, all those different things. That could, if he can turn to that, I mean, we cook on high grease now, right? Because obviously Frank Clark was outstanding. Yeah,
you know the dude is fast, but you can see that they have put some muscle on him. He still needs a good 20, 25 pounds, 30 maybe. But me and Frank Clark was the same size when he was a freshman.
That changed. That changed a lot. Yeah.
That changed. All right, we need to shift gears. So now we want to tell you about the Ann Arbor Summerfest. And our friends at Destination Ann Arbor are featuring it. So right now, Ben, would you please drop that track? Man, when it comes to summer festivals, the one that happens here in Ann Arbor is outstanding. I mean, outdoor entertainment, you get a sense of the community spirit. People are out seeing live music, a lot of great performances, a lot of great food that you see at the Ann Arbor Summerfest. So you can see everything from classical music, theater performances. I mean, all kinds of different genres that happen over the course of this June festival. And really, it's two concurrent series. And as I look at their website, the outdoor centerpiece is at top of the park. It offers admission-free concerts, movies, open-air spectacles, all kind of family attractions. And, of course, you get to enjoy the greenery of Ann Arbor. We featured one of the artists in the last episode that's going to be performing, but you need to check out the entire schedule, the calendar, over at a2sf.org. Again, a2sf.org. And I got to tell you, I mean, the opportunities coming up just this weekend, the 14th and the 15th, Friday and Saturday, all kinds of great performances that are on the slate if you check them out, and Sunday as well, if you check them out over at a2sf.org. We would play you some of the music, but they dinged us in the last YouTube.
They got us.
They said you can't play the copyrighted music. So we want actually.
But you knew that was gonna happen, Sam.
I did.
Why you acting surprised?
Well, who we featured, I can say who her name is Kenyatta Rashawn.
Yes.
From Ypsilanti. Outstanding artist. She's gonna be performing Friday at 7:00 on the Rackham stage. Hip hop and R&B. We were giving you some of her rendition of Denise Williams when we were on the last episode. So again, if you're in the area and you're looking for great outdoor events to enjoy, the Ann Arbor Summerfest is where you want to be. Again, 14th, 15th, 16th. And they even have some that have the calendar up for the 17th. Matter of fact, scratch that. They have the calendar all the way through the end of the month. I needed to scroll down. Forgive me for not scrolling down. You go to the website and you'll see the entire schedule for the rest of the month of June. You don't have to leave Washington County if you're in the area. Hell, if you want to travel to the area for a great outdoor festival where you see all kinds of music from classical music to hip hop and R&B, theatrical performances, great dining options, you want to come to the Ann Arbor Summerfest again. A2SF.org is the website. And again, you want to know more about all those kinds of options. You want to know about the places to stay. Let's say you're traveling from out of town and you want to partake in a few days at the Ann Arbor Summerfest. Your opportunity to find out planning and logistics wise, how to handle all of that. These are our friends at Destination Ann Arbor. You can lay out the great place to stay. You want to go to a great steakhouse, you can figure that out there as well. And then, of course, they will tell you about all the events, not even just the Ann Arbor Summerfest, but all the other events and places to take in town. I keep hyping the park series. I went over to Rolling Hills, fellas, because before I take the GoPro out, Devin does this too, because he went to the gym and he's like, Sam, I put up all this weight. Yeah, he had to go test it out before he put the camera on it. So I did the same thing.
No, that's not true.
That is true.
No, so I get it popping off the rip.
Oh, you know what? You didn't have to go make sure you could do it before we brought the camera.
No, I'm right.
Yeah.
First rep. No, I don't play that.
Man,
I know what time it is.
I went and tried to scale that hill on the trail. I ain't gonna even lie, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
We know that.
Wait, no, but I've done it
was
before.
Your first time ever going.
I've done it before.
We can't prove that.
The hill at Rolling Hills on the trail. I couldn't get up that damn thing. So I gotta make sure I gotta get back on the trail, train before I take the GoPro out there to make sure I can get up that damn hill.
Hey chat. Let's get a GoFundMe, or we could put Sam's Cash App in the deal, Venmo. He got Venmo, and let's get him an e-bike with them big tires. E-bike, big tires, so we can get up that.
I'm not getting no e-bike. I spent too much money on my mountain bike.
Hey, yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, get him an e-bike, baby.
Nah, no e-bikes for me. I'm gonna do it the right way, and I'm gonna try out some of the other parts. Rolling Hills is
did me
fantastic.
and Farrakhan said it at the same time?
But by the way, yes, you did. He actually said it before you, as a matter of fact. But the water park at Rolling Hills is open now. But you got to make sure that you get in early, that you get your tickets early, because they cut. I mean, so many people go now, and I really think this is a post-COVID thing. I have to ask somebody, but you used to just be able to go to the water park with the big water slides over at Rolling Hills. Now, man, they cut it off. There's like, we had capacity. Y'all can't come in anymore. I really think that started once people started figuring out there's this great water park at Ypsilanti called Rolling Hills. So make sure if you're going to go over to the water park over there, you get there early. It is a hidden gem in Washtenaw County. You can find out more details about it over with our friends at Destination Ann Arbor at annarbor.org. Again, that's annarbor.org. And Ben, if you can put up the QR code, please, so people can scan it. You come into town, you're looking, you want to know about the park system, you want to know about the places to eat or stay, you want to figure out about the Ann Arbor Summerfest. Our friends at Destination Ann Arbor are your one-stop shop for all of those things. Again, you find them at annarbor.org. That's annarbor.org. And Ben will throw up the QR code here shortly. You see it on the screen, scan it on your phone, bookmark it, be easy to get to so you can make sure you always have your resource. And it obviously works when you come to town in the fall for the games. Like, you want to figure out what you're going to do Friday night, where you're going to have some drinks Friday night. Friends at Destination Ann Arbor can help you with that, all right? annarbor.org. Benjamin, would you please drop that track? All right, so fellas, we got to talk about the before we get out of here, the biggest topic in sports these days. It's not the NBA Finals. It's not the Lakers embarrassing themselves with a weak offer to Dan Hurley. It was a weak offer. It was a weak offer. They didn't make that man. They didn't come after him like the Chargers came after Jim Harbaugh. I'll tell you that. That's how you come after somebody, right? No, but the biggest story.
Hey, he's a screamer, and he's grown up with money. I don't think it's gonna work out. He's a screamer. You can't be screaming in people's face.
Hey, man, listen.
Who cares? He's gonna be fired in 2 weeks.
He would have tried. Man, he would have tried it out if you tell the man you're gonna pay him more than Monty Williams.
Why would we try it out when we know he's a screamer?
They offered that man less money than Monty Williams. Like, how do you think that's gonna work?
Monty Williams don't scream.
Well, still, if you making a serious play for this man, they said they were going to make.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it was a serious. I think it was a play for everybody to feel a little better. Like, hey, we tried to get this dude that's proven to be a good coach.
Man, they look stupid.
I don't think that. I don't think.
I do. They put it out there that they were going after this dude, and you got turned down. You got embarrassed.
No, it got leaked. It got leaked.
Hey, how's that embarrassing though?
Yeah,
it's that your number one. It's the Lakers.
Yeah, I think that's more of a media narrative. Even throughout the years, when they say, "Oh, you miss out on your first or second option," like, "Hey, man, as long as we get the right guy, it could be the first option, second option, whoever." Like, I try not to get caught up in those narratives about, oh, it's embarrassing or they didn't get the, like, hey man, it didn't work out. It didn't work out. We're gonna move on to the next guy.
So where do you think?
Man, that's the Lakers, man.
Oh, wait,
if you don't want to coach the Lakers, I think they ain't gonna lose no sleep.
Pause for a second. Who do you think put out the narrative that they were gonna make this massive offer? Because the story came from Adrian Wojnarowski from ESPN. His sources tend to be front office people.
Yeah,
front office people and agents. So I suspect the Lakers put that out.
I think
you know what I think, Sam. Yeah, that's true. The agents will do that. Hey, Adrian, they about to put this mess out.
Hold on, man.
Because but if the agent do it, now you kind of like, hey, no, we don't want to lose our coach just won back-to-back national championships. But this is what I think happened, Sam. Can I tell you what I think happened? This is what I think happened. I think they want JJ to be the head coach because everybody is kind of well known that LeBron has almost been grooming him, right? To see, what his basketball mind is like, and he wants him to be the coach. However, they don't like the pushback of y'all letting LeBron make decisions, y'all doing everything for LeBron. They already gonna draft LeBron's son, so it's just like too much over and over again. So they like, all right, bet. Let's go ahead and get the best college basketball coach. Let's give him an offer. We ain't gonna break the bank. But let's give him it was a sizable offer. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst either. They said, let's do this. We know he gonna reject it because one, he can get UConn to that number, and the taxes is gonna be a little lower than in LA, right?
No. He can't get UConn to $11 million a year.
No, I said get close to that number minus the taxes, right? It's gonna be, it's a sliding scale because of the taxes, right? So he gonna be able to. So now it's a win-win for everybody involved. He gonna use that as leverage for UConn. UConn, like, we don't want to lose our coaches one back-to-back championship. Lakers don't gotta hire him because he be screaming at people, and they get to do what they was gonna do anyway. And nobody can really get that mad. It's the only thing you can say is they're embarrassed. I think they're cool with that. They don't want people to say that LeBron is running a franchise. They don't want that.
I don't think they don't want people to say he didn't try, right?
Yeah,
and that's one thing. As far as Hurley, I think Hurley and his people put out the narratives of money. I don't think it doesn't benefit the Lakers to put out how much money they offered him in the years of the contract, right? Because like I said, this didn't work out. Now the next candidate is gonna be like, hey, you offered him.
I need more.
That's kind of like the starting point now, right?
That's
so
true.
it's like
That is true.
I don't think the Lakers would put that information out.
Daniel, I did not think about that.
Oh, no.
Because they don't win, right? If they do that, if they put that number out, the next guy like, oh, so you think I ain't as good? I'm already your second choice.
You nailed why it's embarrassing. Exactly what you put out there, because I do think the Lakers put it out. And here's why. Why would the man try to build leverage he already has? He already had the leverage. Kentucky was coming after him. And he said, no, the number was already up. The governor of the state of Connecticut came out and said, I guarantee the state will guarantee he is the highest paid coach in college basketball. He didn't need no more leverage. He don't need the Lakers for that. He already got the governor stepping up saying,
highest paid coach in college or highest paid
coach in college.
There's more money after that.
Yeah, I'm about to say there's more money after because it looks one way when he doesn't have an NBA offer and he only competing against other colleges. Now he gets the biggest franchise, the Lakers, right? So now that money and that
different competition.
Now it's UConn. We got to come back to. I know we just negotiated a previous deal, but now we have to come back to the table and probably ante up.
Maybe get him a Lincoln Riley jet. Maybe get him a little some of that stuff.
Brothers. UConn was not about to pay this man $11 million. But UConn, so right now, the highest paid coach in college basketball is Bill Self at $9.6 million. If you're going to pay Dan Hurley, make him the highest paid coach, and you're talking about $10 million for for Danny Hurley. So a $10 million coach. Man, you are going to get UConn over that.
But you can
There's
get private jet.
no leverage is gonna move UConn past that number.
You can get private jet though.
Just like Michigan wasn't gonna get close to 16 million, and that's the point.
What was Hurley's new contract with UConn? How much is it per year? He signed a
contract last year for like 5.5.
Well,
but hold on. After this season and Kentucky was coming after him, the governor came out saying, we ain't losing this dude. The state is gonna make sure he is the highest paid coach in college basketball.
Has it happened yet?
So he's
That's
in the
I want to know, has it happened?
No, it hasn't happened yet.
All this you gonna be is crazy.
Man,
I'm gonna give you $1 million. All
right, man.
Hey, look.
After my own money.
Hey, maybe this Lakers ploy to get that. That's probably why that number is thrown out there, because Bill Self was making 9.6, right? So maybe that number is thrown out to by Hurley's people so they can get UConn on the good foot of making him, like, they haven't offered him that contract yet, right? No matter what the governor says. Maybe this Lakers ploy is a way to get them to get on the good foot about making him the highest paid. Because right now he's still at $5+ million, whatever it is he was making last year.
At this current moment, Sam, they know how much Bill Self make. They know the Lakers didn't offer them this money, and he's still making $5.
Well, listen, I just know this. The Lakers have a track record.
Why we get Sam off topic? He wanted to go do something else.
I didn't even want to talk about this. But I just know how the Lakers they have bungled moves before. Look at the coaches that they've run through. Look at the coaches they've run through since Phil Johnson. No coach has lasted more than 3 years. Most have lasted 1 or 2. Yes. And Darvin Ham was the last one, and they ran him out. And then you look at the personnel moves that they made. They messed that up. So why would you give the Lakers the benefit of the doubt?
Hold on, Sam. We give the Lakers the benefit of the doubt because they have 17 championships. And they've done
these Lakers?
Oh, wait. No, the Lakers.
Same Lakers, man.
Same Lakers. Just like
it's the same. Won a championship 3 years ago, Sam.
Coach.
No, wait. Just like the Celtics probably about to win a championship with a different coach. This is the same Celtics organization, right? The Lakers have a commitment to excellence. So if you're Darvin Ham and you come in, you finish 7th and 9th or whatever, you're gonna get fired. You just like if you come to Michigan and you're Rich Rodriguez, you go 7-5, 75-5, whatever it is, you're gonna get fired. There's a commitment to excellence with the Los Angeles Lakers that you have to live up to, and that's not you don't get a grace period like Frank Vogel. You don't get grace because you won the championship in the bubble and then the next 2 years you struggle. No, you struggle, you're gone. This is the Lakers we're talking about, Sam.
I know that.
This is not the Pistons.
They made bad move after bad move.
Hey, man, don't be cutting on Sam. We ain't going to let him just come at us. This is all kind of crazy.
I didn't want to talk about it.
Because I don't know. Hey, man, we going to be all right.
Man, them dudes, I'll keep going back to the personnel moves that they made to go out and we signing Russell Westbrook and Rajon Rondo, thinking that's going to work. Right then, you come back with this squad, and what did you think D'Angelo Russell was going to be the second time around? You thought he was going to be a dude who was going to be a team guy?
Yeah, he showed flashes, Sam.
Flashes. He always shows flashes.
Lakers' problem isn't coaching. The Lakers' problem is they're in cap hell right now. They got 2 guys making all the money, two guys making all the money. Then they have no draft picks to build the organization through trades or through the draft. That's the Lakers' biggest issue. They can go out, they can find a good coach. If Darvin Ham had a better constructed roster, he would have probably done a better job. That's one thing about basketball. It's the same thing with football. So, you only as good as the guys on your roster. I don't give a damn who the coach is.
Who built the roster, Daniel? Who built the roster?
Pelinka, a Michigan guy.
And who's the GM for the Lakers right now?
Pelinka, he all of it. Him and LeBron.
So he didn't go nowhere, right?
But you're limited in the moves you can make when you got 2 guys making 40, 50, 55
I don't disagree.
million.
But who put them in that position?
I guess we're gonna have to talk about Caitlin Clark next season. Season 2. We're gonna talk about Clayton Clark season 2 of Steady Dropping Dimes.
I planned on this was a pit stop. I didn't plan on talking about this. I wanted you guys.
We real, Sam. We ain't letting you get away with no garbage. You tried to slide that in there. Me and Daniel had disagreements. We ain't gonna let you just slide that in how you was talking.
Can't sleep against our Lakers, man.
So Caitlin Clark did not make the United States Olympic team it is being called the snub in many circles, many media circles. So Christine Brennan from USA Today is probably the loudest voice in print. Stephen A is probably the loudest voice behind the mic. And there are a lot of co-signers to the idea that she is the biggest star in the history of the sport, and that it does not matter if she doesn't have Olympic experience or is not one of the 12 best players. She should be on the team because her presence on the team helps grow the game. What say you guys?
Daniel, I know you know more than me, so can I just quickly
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
So for me, I know Caitlin Clark has done an outstanding job, big star. She ain't Kobe in China. What are we doing? She's a big star in America, and everybody that's gonna know right now. I don't think her being in the Olympics elevate. They've been winning every single time. They've done a great job. It's people who are going to get this opportunity and never maybe get it again. She has a bright future and whatever. So we're going to strip this opportunity from people who got a chance now because she's not one of the 12 best players. And you're going to take the opportunity away just because to grow the game for this year with the Olympics. I don't think that this grows the game just if she plays in the Olympics. All right. I just don't think that's the truth. I think that her in America playing the way she's played has grown the game and well, not necessarily play the way she played in the NBA, but in college basketball, I just don't think handouts are appropriate. And I don't know the history of it, but was LeBron as a rookie? I don't know if it was an Olympic year or whatever, but I'm saying LeBron, because LeBron is, LeBron, right? He was running for civil rights 16 years old. Was he just slid into the Olympics his first opportunity? I don't know for a fact if he was, but I don't think he was, right? Even when he got his chance, they was kind of doing him wrong. I watched the Redeem team, I'm like, dang, they was doing him kind of bold, like he wasn't Bron. You know what I mean?
The trip when they finished like fifth or so with AI.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, I just don't think it would be, and I'm not the fair guy. I'm not the fair guy, but they've been winning every single year. They've been doing just fine. I don't think he has to be in it this year for the game to grow.
He was on the first Olympic team in Athens. He was.
Yeah, and they were terrible. But yeah, I don't see a big deal about her not making it. Like, to say that she's the biggest female basketball star ever is crazy talk, right? Like, I grew up in the era of Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoops and Lisa Leslie and all of these ladies. Like, even then, even though social media and everything wasn't big, she's nowhere near close to the player or the stars they were in their era, right? Not saying that she won't get there eventually, but it seems like because there's this push to promote women's basketball and push it to a higher level and a more profitable level, that they want to use her as the cash cow. And everybody don't have to be a part of that narrative, right? The players that she's competing against, the coaches that are evaluating the USA Olympic team, who they're going to keep, they don't have to be a part of that narrative. They're not being paid to be part of Caitlin Clark's cheering squad, right? Their job is to pick the best 12 girls to go to, best 12 women, 12 to 15 women to go to wherever the Olympics is and win a gold medal. Well, if that includes Caitlin Clark, cool. If it doesn't, so be it. She'll eventually, we know as talented as she is, she'll have plenty of opportunities to make the Olympic team and win a gold medal because our women pretty much win it every 4 years. So she'll get her opportunity to be part of that cycle and be part of that group. It just wasn't this year. That's not a controversy. It's not a conspiracy. Like, we picked Jason Kidd and Kobe Bryant, all these men stars at the end of their careers for leadership and to guide the new generation in. They're doing the same thing with Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner and all of these girls. And these women can actually still play.
Hey, Sam. Hey, it sounds like Caitlin Clark is going to have a case of the Isaiah Thomas.
I met the
criteria. No, I'm saying I met the criteria.
This ain't that was a snub. There was a difference. So
snub.
First of all, Daniel, listening to your point, I think you're conflating talent and star power. I don't think there's any question that she has the most star power in the history of American women's basketball. There is just it's a provable fact.
But Sam, hold on, Sam.
Can I finish?
Wait, Sam, can I just cut you off one time?
How is she more popular than Cynthia Cooper, who won
Hold on, Daniel, I'm gonna clean you up, Daniel. I'm gonna clean you up, Daniel. I'm gonna clean you up. There's no measurement we can use because of what social media has become, right? So let's go. Like if there was a way for us to quantify, hey, the popularity in the past without social media, what was the level based on what it would be without social media, and then quantify it with the social media, maybe you have a different answer. But I don't know if we have that.
So listen, this is the only point in this whole discussion that I'm disagreeing with you on, because I don't think she was snubbed from the Olympic team, but I do think she is the biggest star
ever
in the history of women's basketball.
Only if you've never paid attention to women's basketball. Only if you've never. So in Sam, like this guy Hassan Hall in the chat, like you, Sam, you could tell that back then you guys weren't women's basketball fans. Y'all were Daniel. Football. Those of us who grew up in basketball circles and have coaching sons and been around this sport our whole life. Cynthia Cooper, Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, they're just as big, if not bigger stars than Caitlin Clark in an era with no social media.
But Daniel
had her own shoe.
Daniel, this is where
in her era.
I'm not on both sides. I'm not on either side. Let me come up and clean him up. Daniel, this is what Sam is saying, because your point is valid, Daniel. If people don't know, they haven't been watching. What Sam is now saying is the reason everybody's watching is because she's such a big star.
See, I'm not saying she's a better player.
It's a group of girls. It ain't just her.
So
that's true too. That's true too. Y'all both got some good points now.
Let me be clear. I'm not saying she's a better player than Cynthia Cooper. I'm not saying she's a better player.
I'm talking about star. These women have their own shoes.
You understand that they are moving, they are changing the venues of her games.
That's true.
Hey,
because
nobody
is
buying,
selling out arenas. She is
maxing
out the capacity, and they're moving her games to different arenas. Every game she's played
moved it to Hinkle and nobody came. They're moving the games. They moved it to Hinkle and nobody showed up. What are we talking about?
So how many games? So just in their era, how many games did they sell out in a season?
The Houston Comets sold out damn near every night at the old Houston arena back in the day. So what are we talking about?
So percent of capacity for her games compared to percent of capacity for the Houston Comets and Cynthia Cooper. Bring that up. If you can show me,
not Sam. You know our researchers ain't at that level just yet. Come on, that's key.
We can look it up. I guarantee what they're saying is and maybe the reporting is wrong, that there have never been ticket sales at the level that there have been for Caitlin Clark. Now, if that's false,
that's not true.
Then we've been being sold a bill of goods.
All right, guys.
Average attendance.
We almost hour and a half.
And Google the Houston Comets average attendance when they won 4 straight championships.
All right, dang.
4 straight league MVPs.
We almost an hour and a half, fellas. I'm gonna give y'all your last points on the matter. And Sam, you have the floor without interruption. What you got?
Hey man, so listen, she is the biggest star to me. Now we can disagree on that, but that is not the criteria for the team. All right. As we have watched her play, her dominance has not translated to this point. And why hasn't her dominance translated to this point? Because it is a more physical and more athletic game. And as we've heard, whether it's the people on the committee and certainly people who have experience in the game, like Shanae Ogumake, who I think is outstanding, Andrea Carter, who I think is tremendous, and they were trying to explain this to Stephen A. And they were like, look, she's having problems with the physicality in the W. This is 5 times more physical in the international game. The rules are different. How do you think this is going to go? And so is she talented enough to be on the team? Sure. But she's given her issues with athleticism and strength against the level of competition. She's probably not going to be a rotation player.
All right, Sam, that's your time. That's your time, Sam.
Can I finish my point? I will wrap it up succinctly.
I mean, I gave you a lot of time, man.
She will not be a rotation player. She will probably get 5-6 minutes a game. So now you have the biggest star in women's college basketball history sitting on the bench playing 5 minutes a game. That becomes the story, and it becomes a distraction, whereas we should focus our attention on building the best team, a team that has Olympic experience. All these players do. Most of them know the scheme. Some of them are teammates right now in the pros. You put all that together, that gives us the best team without distraction. That needs to be what the focus is, and that's the kind of team they select.
All right, now Sam, you're going overtime now. Now, Daniel, I'm sorry for that. I apologize for Sam and his inability to have concise points. He went overtime a bit there, so we're gonna give you a little bit of extra time too. Daniel, you have the floor.
All right. So think about this, right? Back in 96, 97, the Houston Comets averaged around close to 10,000 people a night in attendance, right? The Indiana Fever have averaged about a little over 15,000. In today's, with the media, the fact that they moved the women's NCAA tournament to coincide with the same time as the same weekend, same time as the men's tournament. They play on Sunday at the same time as all the things they've done to promote the women's game and boost the women's game. They have 5,000 more people than the Comets had back in 97 without half the promotion or half the media. That was home. So you're telling me that this girl is the biggest star ever. And I grew up in the era. I grew up down here in Texas where these ladies were superstars. They sold sneakers. Oh, girl, that's the female Steph Curry, Aya Second, however you say her name. She has a new shoe. I haven't seen anybody buy it. People were actually buying Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoop's shoes back in the day.
I remember that. I do remember that.
To say that she's the biggest star ever. She may be the biggest star right now. That's not a question. But to say she's the biggest star ever is being a prisoner of the moment. She may become the biggest star ever, but man, come on, man, we're not about to say she's bigger than Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl, these women or Cheryl Miller, these ladies who made women's basketball popular and made the game what it is. Come on, man, we're not doing that, Sam.
All right.
I respect a lot of things you say and do, but when it comes to that, y'all bugging.
Oh, guys, hold on, Sam. No, Sam. Sam, you had your time.
The power of social media.
Dang. Come on now,
If Cheryl Miller had that, come on, man. Let's.
We got it, guys. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now my verdict. I'm gonna call this one. I'm gonna call this one a draw, and this is why. We got time. So in season 2 of Steady Dropping Dimes, we're gonna revisit this topic and we're gonna see those games, right? Those games that are selling. Oh, can I finish my statement?
If they still got 15,000.
If they still got all those fans in the stands, then we may lean towards Sam Webb.
I mean, think about this. I mean, you left the factor out. I mean, you talking when Houston Comets were winning all those games, they're winning all these championships, and they averaged 10,000. The Indiana Fever suck, and they still getting 15,500.
Sam, save your arguments for season 2 of Steady Dropping Dimes. Season 2 is on the way, fellas. Season 2 is on the way. Keep this energy and save your points.
Hey, you're absolutely right, Devin. By the time we start back up in August, the season will be winding down for the WNBA, and we'll see if they still have 15,000 a night.
Man, listen, that
was a good last point, Sam. That was a good last point.
Talk about growing the game. The game is not going to stop growing because she's not on the Olympic team. The same people who are watching Caitlin Clark now are going to watch her when they come back stateside, and she's going to benefit for having this time off. I think they did the right thing. They put together the best team, and I got people saying, you got a couple players who haven't even played. Brittany Griner's a center. You're going to sit a center down for a guard, and Chelsea Gray has amazing Olympic experience. She knows the scheme. She's going to be ready to play. Like, come on, man. They did the right thing.
Brittany Griner is 6'8" and one of the all-time WNBA greats. What are y'all talking about?
I think 6'8" alone, it's like you got to have 6'8". Come on now. There ain't too many 6'8" women walking around.
I said Chelsea Gray hasn't played a game. No, she hasn't played a game, but she's played with Team USA. She has Olympic experience.
Yep.
She knows this scheme. She knows the coach. Like, they got 5 days to practice. 5 days. So somebody who has no Olympic experience,
Not to
doesn't know
mention
this scheme at all, is going to go there and pick it up in 5 days.
Not to mention, Caitlin Clark is very ball dominant, just running around doing stuff. So obviously, Sam, you said she wouldn't play much, but the way she plays is not the biggest version of team basketball as far as what I can see. She takes a lot of bad shots, and it's because of the fanfare, and she kind of has to, because she got to live up to that, you know, that biggest star maybe ever, maybe just right now. But that just is not conducive to success. And now you're going to create some division in the team, right? Because some people understand, like, hey, we need Caitlin Clark as a star. And then other people are like, man, this girl she's taking bad shots. I'm not looking at this. And it's going to be Deanna Taurasi. I'm just telling you, she's not playing them games. So that's tough. That is tough. And we're all in agreement. She shouldn't have been on the roster. We're all in agreement here. It's just a star point that season 2 of Steady Dropping Dimes, we don't revisit.
Hey, man, you so good at that. You see, man, I've been talking about how much better you are than Reggie Bush, and I've been short selling you. Yeah.
I wanted to be a judge in my former life.
All right. Hey, by the way, see, you making it hard on us because
Sam,
you arguing with Hassan. Now he's not gonna have Chili come by the tent, man. You know,
no, Hassan, come on, man. Like, hey, stop talking. Daniel, stop talking to Hassan.
Nah, he got to go watch some more basketball. The stuff he said is crazy. He got to go watch some more basketball.
And Ferris Khan, that's my dog. If anybody got a problem, let me know. Because in the chat, Ferris Khan is my dog.
Hey, Sam, Caitlin Clark take 2 or 3 of them step backs on that Olympic team. I guarantee you she got 3-4 women who've been 10-time All-Stars and all WNBA women that will be cussing her out in the locker room. So that's just how it goes.
Listen, we agree on the composition of the team. What we disagreed on is her star power. Women's basketball has never seen anything like
a woman that's never won the MVP or never won a significant award in the league. She's the most popular player. Okay.
All right, man. We're going to agree to disagree on this one. On the way out, listen, I got to give a shout out to our sponsor, Golden Limo, because we have season 2. Is it season 2, Ben, of Behind the Uniform, where we sit down and we go inside and in depth with student athletes at the University of Michigan. And one of the things that we committed to with the platform is enhancing the financial literacy of these student athletes. I take it seriously. I take it personally that we need to do that. And so we've enlisted the University of Michigan Credit Union. We certainly enlisted Morgan Stanley Ann Arbor, in enhancing the financial literacy of the student athletes at the University of Michigan. So every student athlete that comes on the platform will go through that financial literacy boot camp. And of course, at the same time, we are going to learn more about their time as a student athlete at the University of Michigan, looking ahead to their season, talking about their preparation, find out more about their personalities. You've seen the series before, or season, I think it's 2. It might be season 2.5. It's coming up here in the coming weeks. And one of our foundational sponsors is Golden Limo. Not only do they sponsor Steady Dropping Dimes, they also sponsor Behind the Uniform. And of course, they have gotten into partnerships with several student athletes, including Will Johnson, who is one of the ambassadors for Golden Limo, and plenty of outstanding opportunities. So you're looking for a great gift for dad. They have great outings that you can enlist Golden Limo to treat dad. I mean, you treat mom to a lot of things. Why not treat dad to a Tigers game on Golden Limo? You set up his travel for the upcoming season. And that's one of the things that we're going to be doing in this upcoming season, this upcoming series. So this is going to be a loaded home schedule for the University of Michigan. A lot of people coming in from out of town. Airport transport, game day transport. Golden Limo should be your option. You want to get around all the traffic. You want to know the way around town with drivers who aren't looking at their phones trying to figure it out. Driving in the lap of luxury. Attention to every detail. On time to them is 15 minutes early. You never carry a bag. You always have chilled water. For me, that's San Pellegrino. Y'all know how I like to get down. Golden Limo takes care of you at goldenlimo.com. And of course, they have some Father's Day specials. You can find that out. Find out more about that over at goldenlimo.com. But anytime you need transportation, whether it's to or from the airport, executive transport, game day transport, transport domestically or abroad. When we went to Rome and Paris, Golden Limo arranged our travel overseas. They can do the same for you with one phone call, one email. They can chart your entire travel itinerary with one phone call. That is the Golden Limo difference. To find out more at goldenlimo.com. So be sure to support our sponsors. That's how we make Steady Dropping Dimes go. All right? And we're coming back for season 2, folks. So if you like season 1, season 2 is going to be a bang. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for helping season 1 of Steady Dropping Dimes be successful. The crew will see you again late August for the next edition of Steady Dropping.
One more thing. Sorry. Hassan Hall. Daniel didn't mean it.
Oh, wait.
Yes, I did.
Oh, we got some more Buckeyes showed up. Wait, hold on.
Oh, there you go.
They coming in talking at the end. And Stephen Cherry. Steve, hey, it's Steady Dropping Foolishness, and you here for every episode.
Every episode.
So foolish. Every episode, you in the chat.
Every episode. You brought some
Hey, Sam, I asked him. He didn't respond. I asked him if we should have him on the show. He be here so much. We should have him on the show, and we can debate him on whatever he want to debate.
That's right.
We should. Hey, Blossom. Come on. Let us know. We'll get you on season 2, and we'll punch your head in just like them Wolverines been punching your boys down south here.
All right, folks. We'll see you next season. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.